Good morning. It is an honor to introduce our speaker today. My name is Edward Wang. I'm one of the OTEA member. Hopefully this monthly activity will bring you a lot of valuable information. Our speaker today is Dr. Henry Lee. Henry Lee is a very well-diverse engineer. I personally got to know Henry 5 years ago when he was in Japan, and right now he is in Japan. Henry Lee is working with transport planner as a transport planner at ALMEC Corporations. Henry graduated from National Taiwan University with a bachelor degree of civil engineering. Later on, he went to Tokyo for his advanced degree. Henry graduated from Tokyo Institute of Technology in 2013, receiving a master's degree in transport studies. Later on, he moved to a PhD program. He graduated from Tokyo Institute of Technology in 2016. Today, we are going to hear outstanding engineer, young engineer, was born in Taiwan, graduated from National Taiwan University. Now he's working around the globe. Henry is an international transport specialist with 5 years of consulting experience. Today, we're gonna listen to his story as he grows his career from project management, railway planning, and intercity connectivities, corridor study, and for passengers and cargo vehicles. He has traveled so many different places around the globe. Country he works right now is Bosnia, Egypt, Japan, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Vietnam, not to mention he also works in Taiwan as well. Without further ado, let's welcome today's speaker, Dr. Henry Lee. He will deliver a subject, Engineering Business Opportunities for International Development. He is the right person to talk about this subject. I'm sure many of us from the general audience, we will learn how do we proceed if you're interested in international project opportunity. With that, Henry.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for the introduction of Professor Edward. Okay, so it's my honor to be today to present my experience to you. First of all, I'm going to share my screen. So now I'm going to talk about the engineering business opportunity for international development. I'm Chen Wei, Henry. Actually, Henry Hen means, in Japanese means change, and Lee is my name. So if I say my name is Henry, in Japanese that means change Lee. Okay, so there's always the joke I talk to the Japanese people. But today I'm going to talk about the 4 topics. This is my background, introduction to international development and engineering business opportunity for JICA. JICA is Japan International Cooperation Agency. ADB is Asian Development Bank, and WB is World Bank. And also I also introduce some project experience. Okay, so let's go from section 1 first. As Edward introduced, I obtained my PhD and master degrees from Tokyo Institute of Technology, and also I have a graduate from NTU. Now I'm working as a transport planner at ALMEC Corporation. We're based in Tokyo, and my division is overseas division. So mostly we are doing the overseas project. Before that, I also did some consultant at the World Bank Tokyo office, airport infrastructure and CSR engineer at Kansai Airport, and second military engineering at Taiwan, and also the transport research in Singapore. So here are some photos when I was a student. So I did an internship at the Kansai Airport. So we went to the, actually Kansai Airport is an island, artificial island. So I have to monitor the island if they are sinking or something. So I also follow the engineer to watch every day. And this is a World Bank Tokyo office. This is a disaster risk management hub. So we are supporting them to prepare something know-how from Japan and transfer to other countries. This is a co-teaching seminar. When I was still a student, we have a Korean. This is a Korea Transport Institute. They come to Japan, so we do the joint seminar. And I also deliver a presentation at NTU. And I attend the high-speed rail, Shinkansen. In Japan, they call it Shinkansen. And also the urban rail seminar developed by Tokyo Metro and also other private railway company. This is the site visit to Trans-Asia. Although it was close, my PhD study was talking about like safety behavior, so I had the chance to visit Trans-Asia. So by far, I have about 5 years experience in consulting and in the project management and railway, road, intercity connectivity, corridor planning for both passenger and cargo. I'm also doing GIS and economic modeling. And also I have like extensive experience in safeguard analysis. This is like environment and also social and also public sector involvement. I have working for so many countries, and I think I spend longer time in Philippines and Malaysia and Vietnam. So I mean, recently now I'm doing a project in Bosnia and also have a new project in Africa. Okay, so here are some photos. This is in the Philippines. So we have some captain. I mean, what do you say? Barangay captain. Okay, so like the head of the each town. So we invite them for some like consultation activity. And this is the traffic control center. So we went there to take a site visit. Okay, and the section 2, I'm going to talk about what is international development. So this one, the first one, for example, the government in the different country, maybe they have a problem of like a infrastructure deficiency or the poverty. So they may ask the international organization such as MDB. MDB is Multilateral Development Bank, including like World Bank, Asian Development Bank, AIB, EIB, something, or in UN, United Nations. Or they may ask like the Japanese government, Korean government, France or something. So that's like a bilateral act. So these, like the Japanese government under MOFA, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they may instruct their aid agency. For example, in Japan is JICA. So this agency, JICA and also the international organization, they will provide the project contract to development consultant. So we, actually I'm the development consultant, so we are provided the right project implementation consulting service to different country directly. So I think here you may think what kind of problem, what kind of thing they are lacking in developing countries such as urban planning, transport, education, infrastructure, energy, water, health, and so on. So these things, we different countries, we go there and to provide our service. Okay, so what kind of the agency? So in bilateral aid, such as from Japan is JICA, is from UK, so DFID, and it's from America, USAID, AFD from France, this one GIZ from Germany, Australia, and also we have one in Taiwan, the ICDF. I think the bigger one in multilateral aid, such as World Bank, so WBG or WG, and ADB focusing Asia Pacific. Besides Africa Development Bank and EBRD, European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, and AID, I think this is a new one based in China, and this is mostly in Europe, is EIB and all some agency under the umbrella of UN like UNDP. So I show you just one World Bank project cycle. So you have 3 colors. So this is a joint activity for green, and orange is a World Bank activity. This follow activity is mostly like a MOF of each government. For example, the Pakistan, so Pakistan MOF, Ministry of Finance, they borrow the money from World Bank because maybe they don't have money, they don't have enough money to do the project for the infrastructure or something. So they borrow the money from World Bank or from other agencies. So first of all, so these 2 joint groups, they have to make a strategy. So it's a contract partnership framework. So, and then they need to identify what kind of project they want to do. So for the local government, they need to prepare the safeguard policy and also how to do the project. So they prepare that document and submit to World Bank. And within the World Bank, they have the board. So they are going to approve this project is going or not going. And after that, 2 sides, they have to negotiate how much money to borrow and how the project design will do, and how to design the rate and how long something. So they negotiate, and if okay, so it's confirmed. So they have a mission, and then they will select the consultant firm to do. So that will be implementation. So the borrower will have to monitor the consulting or contractor to do the project. And also every year they have to do 2-time monitoring. And if the service or construction finish, they have to do the evaluation. So this is like a project cycle, standard project cycle divided by World Bank. So let's see the JICA, World Bank, and also ADB, their investment. So this is the, unfortunately, it's only in Japanese. So actually, most of the project, they have three categories. First one is TA, so technical assistance. And the second one is loan, so they borrow the money. This one loan normally means some construction. So maybe the building the bridge, building the highway or railway or something. And grant, so maybe it's just free for you. It can be like some construction, or it can be like some consulting service or something. And mostly these agencies, they will prefer to have loan, because the loan they can earn the money because they are back. So they want to have provide a loan, so they can also earn some money from, you know, their cash return. I mean cash flow. So Japan loan actually transport, they have a very big share, because I think they borrow the money to India to build a metro and also have to be real. So that's why their share is quite big. And also let's see the ADB. So ADB for the past 5 years, transports also have quite a lot, particularly in 2019, maybe about 40% or 30%, and recently a little bit decreased. But I think you may notice that this transport means overall transport. So even like the road or bridge or tunnel is all category 2 transport. But I think for we civil engineers, we also may interested in the sewage and also water supply and or solid waste, and that is under this urban infrastructure and service. Okay, and let's see World Bank investment. So I think World Bank, they separate into different regions. So see here is Eastern and Southern Africa. This one is Western and Central Africa. So these two is Africa. This one is EAP, so East Asia and Pacific, and Europe and Central Asia. And this one is Latin America, and Middle East and North Africa, and South Asia. So you can see transport, actually for transport still have a high share within this all region. But I think you can notice that for Africa, so totally in 1 year, they have about 27 billion US dollar investment. So compared to other region, actually, I think Africa is still a very potential market in the future. And also maybe South Asia, even just a small region, already have a 10 billion investment. So maybe South Asia, also Latin America and Africa will be the future potential market in the future. So now I'm going to talk about the engineering business opportunity for these three organizations. So first of all, this JICA. So later I also demo this in their website. So this is JICA's website, their procurement website. So you can see here they have the 业务实施契约. This is for the firm, okay. And this one 单独 means for individual. Okay, so it's also same as like the international organization. They have some contract with the firm and some contract with the individual consultant. So if I click this one for consulting firm, so we can see there are some project listed. And if I search, I just search. I search Kenya. This is Kenya. So this one project is the Kenya public bus improvement project. So they have like a announcement and Q&A. And what's the evaluation result? Okay. So if so, then you can see here. So what you need to see is, for example, from the notice, they will say this project from maybe March 2022 to for 3 years. So how many person months is 74%. So this is quite a very big job, a big project. For the Q&A, so before the submission, the proposal submission, the potential bidder, you can ask the question. So they'll also announce the publish all the question and also their answer there. And this is their evaluation. So maybe there are two teams they submit. So their evaluation have the consultant's experience and also your technical proposal, and also each key person's experience. So 1, 2, 3 is for the technical proposal, and here is the finance. Okay, so totally they have so this first one, the team, and the point is higher. So this one, ALMEC Corporation, BPI will win this project. Okay, So I want to tell you, like, usually when you prepare the proposal, like the technical proposal is a chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3, and you also have another financial proposal. Okay, but here, sometimes JICA, they don't disclose how much budget they have, but for the international agency, they usually, yes. Okay, so next, let's go to see the Asian Development Bank. So this is their website, a procurement website. They brief in CMS. Okay, so Consultant Management System, so CMS. So it's, when you hear someone say ADB CMS, that means their procurement website. So if you open this website, then you don't need to have any account or something. Just click here. This is a consulting opportunity. So you click here. So you will see this website, and then you can select like the maybe like the country, sector, and engagement type, and consultant services and budget, something. For example, if you select this one, then click here. So view CSR. So just click here, and you can see this page. Okay, so this is the title. This SOL means Solomon Island. So this project is in Solomon Island. The project name is on urban water supply and sanitation. Okay, so this environment. Okay, this additional financing. So when you open this one, what you need to see? So maybe first of all, here is the deadline of the submission EOI. This when I open this website, normally I will just watch when is the deadline, because sometimes you have 2 weeks or you have 1 month or 2 months, depends on the project. So if you decide to submit this one, normally I'll see how much time we can prepare. So this maybe for EOI, you still have how many days to prepare EOI. And this one, the profile. So this is a general profile. So this one, you want to select the firm. So it's not the consult, it's not the individual. You want to select the firm. And source is international, because sometimes they have some local project. They only want to hire the local consultant. So in that case, they will call it national. But this one, they want to call international consultant, so it's international. And the technical proposal here is a simple file. So that means you don't need to prepare so many details. But some they may only request like maybe the full technical proposal or bio data, so maybe only CV. So it depends what their requirement. And for this project, it will be 3 years and about 1.1 million. Okay, so here like a contacting person. Then next, if you go to TOR, here is a terms of reference. So you will see what they request you to do. And the next is the cost. So for this one, so even at the EOI stage, you already know this, they want their budget is like this. So when you prepare the EOI, then you cannot, your financial proposal cannot be over this budget. Okay, so once they submit the mini EOI, so ADB will review how many, about maybe usually like 4 to 6 4 to 6 teams will be shortlisted. So this shortlist firm, they will be provide RFP, request for proposal, and then you need to prepare a proposal, taking proposal and a financial proposal. Okay, so that is the case for ADB. And next, I'm going to talk about World Bank. Okay, so World Bank also here, this is a page, there is an e-consultant tool. And of course, you don't need an account or something. You just click here. It's a business opportunity. So you click this business opportunity, then you'll see this page. So for example, this one, the first one is a Lesotho development, blah, blah, blah. So this published day is March 11th. Then you have maybe 3 weeks for your EOI preparation. Okay, so when you open, if you click my project, then you will see something like this. So what you need to focus, of course, you need to see when is the deadline for the EOI. Okay, so maybe EOI you have enough time and you can prepare. But you can take it. I mean, the ADB usually they're using the Manila time, it's a Philippine time, and World Bank usually they use DC time. I mean the Eastern time. Okay, so here is Lesotho, and you see here individual or firm, and he said it will be a firm. And then if you go down, I mean here is you go down, drag down, then you can see sometimes they have TOR and sometimes they don't. But if they have the TOR, so you can understand this project more. But if there's no TOR, you just provide your relevant experience or something into them. And then if you are shortlisted, then they will give you the TOR, then you can prepare a technical proposal. Okay, so that is the World Bank opportunity. Okay. Okay, so I think I can just demo you directly. So for example here, JICA. So if here we see for the fund, so there are several projects. So for example, this one is Nigeria. So this one they just announced several days ago, and then so they are still collecting the question of Nigeria about medical solid waste management capacity building something. And this is the Bangladesh sewage project. So if I search, okay, Kenya. Okay, this is Kenya. Okay, if I search Kenya, so there's a project. This project. So this one you can see the notice, the procurement notice. Okay, so you can see what they require, the requirement. And I think for the detailed TOR, you need to mail them. I mean, for JICA case, they don't publish the detail of the TOR. You need to contact them, and they will send to you. And if you ask the question before you submitting the proposal, you can ask them. So, say for consulting potential bidder, they will ask the TOR, how do you prepare? So they ask the question, blah, blah, blah. And JICA, they will reply the answer and then publish it on the website. And the next one is once you submit the proposal, so for them maybe about like 2 weeks to one month, they will review and they will give a point. Okay, so here they have a point. So this one, the joint venture consortium, ALMEC Corporation and Ribbon Gongyin, okay, and Nijino Developer. So this company will win the project. So I think we recently have we win this project maybe like last month, 2 months ago. So we already have our first submission already go to Kenya already. Okay, so that is the case of the JICA. And let's go to see Asian Development Bank. So this is their website. So I just click here. I mean, you can see the consulting opportunity. And if you are shortlist, you can also click here. Your company is shortlisted now. And if you are shortlisted and you also submit the proposal, then you can see if you are win the project or not. So they will be here. Okay, but today we're going to see consulting opportunity only. So, so for example, I click the sector, maybe transport, and I want maybe only international. Okay, so there are several projects here. So you can see when is the publish date, okay, and when is the deadline for EOI. So for example, this one, the first one is Georgia airport sector assessment. So we can click here. So I think this one is maybe like a TA. Also, you see here, the proposal only require biodata technical proposal. So it's not like difficult. And this contact person is ADB, so that means maybe it's directly monitored by ADB. Also, you can watch the TOR requirement. So they only want international expert and not much for national. And how much money they want? So they have 225,000 for this small project. It's quite small. And you can also see another one. I think this one also quite big. Is KZ, is Kazakhstan. So Kazakhstan's corridor. So if you click here, so they have I think 34 months, right? 34 months. So 3-year project. And you see here the contact person is the local government. So maybe this is a long project, long. Okay, so this directly monitored by the local government, but ADB is supporting them. So you can also watch the TOR. So TOR, they require only international is for supervision, and they want more for national. Okay, this national means need to base in Kazakhstan. So you cannot have like a foreigner and then working overseas. No, you need to be the local. And for this project, they have 2 million project. Okay, so for this 2 million project, maybe you need to do road construction. Okay, road reconstruction. Okay, so this is for ADB. And next, let's see the World Bank. So here, business opportunity. So public date, I just click here. So if we see the latest one, okay, maybe this one you see is a service to strengthen the resilience of power sector in Ghana. So this is a project in Ghana, and go down. And see, there's no TOR. So they don't have TOR, and you even don't know what to do. But you can just review some more simple description, and then submit your EOI. Okay, so I think I also asked my friend in open. I asked them, why don't you provide TOR when EOI stage? They say they just want to know any capable consultant can do or not. So if they don't provide, I mean, they just want to have some simple list only. So if you don't provide, you can still prepare your EOI. Or you can see another one, maybe this one, the Climbing Resilience project in Vanuatu, Vanua, I don't know where, or in Fiji. Okay, so if you're going down, so they have a TOR. So in this project, they provide TOR, so you can see the TOR. Okay, and next session, I'm going to talk about my some project experience. So I working in different countries. So I mean, just show you some simple photo, maybe you can understand. So this is the Colombo in Sri Lanka. So they also have like a bus terminal. So they have a monitor. I think they learn from Malaysia. So we also have a chance to do the site visit. And this one is Sarajevo. Sarajevo is the capital of Bosnia. So they have a pretty big problem with their bus operator and also the public transport operator. So we are the team. We visit them operator. And this is Cairo. I was so maybe it was my first time to go to North Africa. I was so surprised they still have the donkey and also the horses running at the road. And this district consultation, I think is a very important element for the master plan. So because if you have the master plan, you need to invite people to explain. Okay, so this is the district consultation, and you also need to consider informal settler. So maybe relocate these people. So this informal settler, and this is the border at Malaysia and Thailand. Okay, I think I have someone sending the test of. Okay, because when I talking, I didn't see that. Okay, so I will just quickly so we can have more time for discussion. So our main test, actually, we are the planning consultant. So if you are engineering, maybe you still have a feasibility study or detailed design, but we are planning, so we are only do the like planning only. So first of all, very important is a business development. So we are preparing the EOI proposal, including technical and financial, and how to compose the team and prepare CV and relevant project list. And for the technical work, of course, analyst meeting. So meeting with so many stakeholders and report. Usually the report we have inception report, progress report, maybe progress 1, progress 2, or progress 3, and draft final and final report. Situational analysis, planning, consultation, technical advisory, subcontract, workshop, seminar, webinar, capacity building. And also we spend a lot of time doing admin work, such as local and national staff management, schedule preparation, and monthly report. You need to report your progress to your client monthly or half year or something. And coordination within the team or connection within your client or also our partner. And contract and budget management and negotiation. So what we need to consider for the overall project planning. So I think environment. When you build, I mean, if you want to build a railway, you want to build a highway or something, you need to do the environment impact assessment. So you have a project, you need to include environment specialists to do the impact assessment. So they will see consider the tree or something, so they will category. So maybe category A, category B or something. And social, when you hear social, you just remember it's IR and IP. This IR is relocation in voluntary resettlement and indigenous people. In economy is EIR. So if the EIR is higher than their standard, maybe usually like say 9% or 10% is higher, that means this project is economic feasible. And for financial, of course, every project need to be financially sustainable. If not enough, you can do the PPP or financing. And these are also the recent hot topics. So gender, so females public participation, and also consideration of the female. For example, in Egypt, I mean, in Middle East, maybe they are more religion tradition or something. So the female is not like easy to involve in the public something the text or something. So at that time, maybe you need to have a special, maybe another special consultation for female only. So at that time, so they can speak their voice. And the risk. So when you do the construction or planning or something, you need to consider the risk and also propose some mitigation measures for AIDS and also COVID-19. And climate change and regional integration are also very important always. They are always talking about this, is decarbonization, or also to promotion of the public transport. Regional integration is a cross-border infrastructure. So CIQS, custom, immigration, quarantine, and security, and also connectivity. Okay, so if you're working in development consulting, what is the request there for this field? So first of all, expertise. So you need to have a relevant experience, but I mean, not only in developing country, but also in developing country. And you need to have a very professional CV, because when you submit a proposal, they are only, what they can judge from you is your company name and also your CV. Okay, so you have a really, can see your professions. CV is very important. And coordination, so you need to put a lot of effort for internal and also external communication. And adoption, because you are working in different countries, different culture, so you need to have a strong cultural adoption and devoted to contribution. Problem-solving ability, because in the country always have problem happening every day, so need to have a proper and better decision making. And networking, I mean, this networking is very important. So teamwork and leadership, of course. And also sometimes if you work with this partner longer, and they will introduce you a new business opportunity. Okay, my suggestion for you or for other consulting firms, if you are interested in international development, maybe you can subscribe some publication. This one is a very big international development, so they are sending you the mail, and also some publication by World Bank or ADB or something. You can subscribe it, and they'll send to you. It's all free. And also check the procurement information from their website, or you can consult with them directly and follow the latest trend. So you can see their project, what they are doing, and their direction, and also accumulate professional and international experience for individual and also for the firm. Okay, so that's my presentation, and thank you. I hope you enjoy.
Wow, what a wonderful presentation. Dr. Henry Lee, starting from his background and moving into the introduction of all the international financial institutions, including World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and JICA. And then next, he shared with us the project opportunity. How can we find those project opportunities listed on their website? And then the very last is Dr. Henry Lee show his project personal experience. And at the end, he encouraged how we can get into those international project opportunities. I would like to say the presentation is very informative and we all are impressed. Very first question, obviously you were educated in Taiwan. How can you get your Japanese so fluently? Did you learn your Japanese in the college, or where did you learn? What's the most culture shock when you work in Japan?
I was major in civil engineering and I was minor in Japanese. So I have a not DO degree. I mean, when I was still undergraduate, I went to college. I mean, 文学院. Okay, I went to the 日文系 and then to study Japanese with them. So that's why before I come to Japan, I already can speak Japanese very well. But I joined Tokyo Tech in international program. So they only require us to like writing or presentation in Japanese, but English. But if you know Japanese, then you can easily talking with your professor easily. So I would say if you want to come to Japan, knowledge of Japanese is you can to get used to the environment here easily. And the most difficulty working in Japan, not like maybe because I already stay here for 10 years, so maybe it's not like a big problem for me. But I think you also understand Japanese is very unique group, very unique. They have their very strong business culture. So my suggestion is don't imitate Japanese. You just be yourself, be a foreigner. Because if you are working as a Japanese, they expect you to do something similar as them. But our advantage is we are foreigner. So just keep your foreigner characteristics. So even now, I think my Japanese, my Japanese speaking is quite well, but for a very professional presentation, I would prefer to do English. Okay, so I mean, I think my Japanese maybe just here and just stop. I didn't increase anymore. No, I gave up. Okay, because I think English is still better than Japanese. I mean, English is more important than Japanese.
You know, honestly, many of us probably have problem mastering English. Now you're moving to the third language that's very admirable. Next question is for you is, how do you see the connections between Asian Development Bank with JICA? We understand that Japan international cooperation agencies always go ahead of the game, meaning that they go to many different countries and help individual country to develop their 6-year or 5 years national development plan. That's where the Asian Development Bank set aside the funding for that particular project. So do you see any correlations between JICA with ADB, or how does that work?
Okay, I would say they are all agency, international agencies. So I would say maybe you should say the relationship between MOF of Japan and Asian Development Bank, because they are paying the money, they are donating the money to ADB. So I would say JICA and ADB, they don't have that direct relationship, but if they are co-financing some project, I think now in Manila, the subway, metro line 3 or something, so it's co-financing by JICA and also Asian Development Bank. So they are sometimes just working together to do the co-financing. But ADB, they have 15% the share is from Japan, another 15% share from America. So they two big bosses from US and Japan. And also within ADB, they have about 1,300 international staff, and they are also maybe about 15% is Japanese. So Japanese will have a very high presence there. So I heard from my friend that they work in the World Bank and also ADB. They say ADB inside their working style, this is more like Japanese style. But World Bank, they are more American style. So even they are NDB, the different NDB, they have different culture, definitely.
Absolutely. Just to echo what you said, many of my friends who work at the Asian Development Bank, they used to work for JICA. So we believe it is very helpful to earn international experience by working for JICA first, and then later on move to ADB and World Bank. Is that a fair statement?
Yes. I would say maybe the threshold for ADB and World Bank is higher. So if you have like an experience, the JICA, even actually for we consultant, it's very difficult to win the project. The ADB and World Bank, although the budget is smaller, but they have more competitor. So for we consulting firm, we also, our company, their management is still want to have Japanese, the JICA project first, because the money have more and less competitor. You see the project, the Kenya only 2 competitors, so it's easier to win. But if for like ADB, usually they have like 6 or 7 or 8, and it's very difficult. And also maybe they have more requirements for the project implementation. So I would say for the consultant side, JICA, their project is maybe easy to win, and also maybe the money is bigger, and also they are willing to do the study. But for the bank, ADB and World Bank, they prefer to have more loan. Okay, they are focused more on the loan project. Of course, they also have like a study OTEA, but they want to have more loan.
Absolutely. I'm sure many of our general audience really want to be an international expert or become a consultant to ADB or World Bank. Serving as a consultant to ADB, not only we have incomes, but it's also a privilege, a subject matter title, expertise that win more business. So in your estimates, what's the percentage of success rates for internationals? Let's take Taiwanese as an example. How many Taiwanese individual consultants you have met or you know working for ADB?
In ADB, they maybe about 5 to 6. Okay, but if we see the share, I think we can. I heard from them, they say maximum we can have maybe about 11% in ADB. So now they are, under. It's not enough. So if you are qualified, you can see the ADB career website. And if you're qualified, you can submit your resume, okay, cover letter and resume. And also sometimes they require an essay, so you just write the essay. And if you are selected, for interview, then you can prepare the interview.
Thank you very much. We also have received many questions from the audience. One of them is from Oliver, who asked, how does JICA get into a country? Do they hire subcontractors, or what if JICA does not have any presence in the country? How do they proceed?
Okay, I would say maybe they'll use the connection from the embassy. I mean, they have an embassy there. Okay, so
Okay.
maybe the embassy, maybe I would say there's no new country, because even, for example, actually in Bosnia, there's no JICA office, but they have an embassy. And they have a JICA Balkan office in Serbia. So that Serbia office monitoring all the Balkan office. So they have maybe the local coordinator. So maybe they have an individual coordinator in Bosnia. So that person is monitoring the local situation, but generally is the general something is managed by their local regional headquarters in Serbia. So
Absolutely.
if maybe it's very difficult for like Japan to have each country, even small city, they have some office cannot, but they can have like an individual contract individual or using the embassy network.
I'm sure some of us have experience working with Japanese consultants or contractors. They all work in the Japanese embassies in a certain country. So it is unlike Taiwanese, we don't have embassies. That's why we have difficulties. Next question from Oliver is, what if a Taiwanese engineer, I want to work in Japan, but I don't have any Japanese local experience. How can I accomplish that? What's your recommendation?
I think, first of all, if you are a very experienced engineer, and they will consider you for the international project. I think for even our company, we have some like contract staff. I mean, the project contract staff, they're from like Western country or from other country. So if you have, for example, in the project in Yangon, then we need a demand focus expert. So we have one expert from UK. So we hire him and finish the project, then the contract is finished. But if next time we want to have, I mean, they are individual consultants. Okay, so those individual consultants need to be very experienced. And for the young engineer, I would expect them to have at least know Japanese or have like a Japanese degree. Because if so, then those people, they are willing to call you for the interview. If you don't have any connection and you suddenly submit the CV, it's hard for them to trust you this person is a real person or a real person.
That's a very good advice. As a matter of fact, we have so many Japanese contractors working in Taiwan, and they are all willing to open their doors. Since the birth rate is so low in Japan, now they open their visa. I have friends who actually help Taiwanese to move to Japan to work, and they have a very good salary, but the cost of living is very high too.
Yes, but I would suggest if you work in Japan, knowing of Japanese is an advantage for you, really. Okay.
Okay, I'm sure you know a lot of a good platform to find jobs in Japan. Can you provide one or two?
You mean engineering?
Mm-hmm.
I would say connection. Just one of recommendation. Because if you go through like maybe like a recruitment website, it's all, I mean, general. Sometimes they will fit you. I think recently Japan, they really want many system engineer and IT engineer. So if you go through them, maybe the headhunter will they will recommend you to transfer your career. But if you only want to work in engineering consulting or something, if you have like someone inside through the word of recommendation, that will be easier.
Thank you. And also, I would like to remind everybody, we do have Q&A sessions after this presentation. We will have open floor for everybody to interact in Chinese. The next question comes from Bing Huang. He asked, he is interested in working the cross-border transport infrastructure in Myanmar. Could you share briefly your experience in that region and what triggered the beginning of any projects in Myanmar?
Okay, when I worked in Myanmar, I was doing the urban transport with the Yangon bus. So I was not directly involved in the border, but they have another project in Dawei. Okay, I think in Chinese it's called Tuwa. So it's like a Thailand and Myanmar border. There's a Dawei something, and that is the Japanese government and also Ministry of Economy of the Japan. They want to invest that for the future Japanese the industry or something. So they are developing a Dawei. Okay, I think even China, they are doing some industrial park. So I think there's a Myanmar and Thailand. There's something like a very small peninsula or something. So there's a very small town. So they are trying to build a new industrial park in Dawei. And then once you build an industrial park, they need to, I think they are close to Thailand. So how to connect, you can transport your cargo from Myanmar to Thailand. So you need the highway and also the railway or something. So actually, that project was still ongoing. So I'm still not like, also because Myanmar now is OTEA, I mean, the government changed. So I think now ODA from Japan is all resolved. So maybe I have no idea how was the future of Myanmar. I cannot say. But by far, we have, actually, I think by far Japan already invest a lot in Myanmar.
Thank you very much.
If so, actually, you can go to, I think this one I want to introduce you as well. Okay, so this one, JICA library, did you see it? So this is all the report you can see from the JICA. Of course, you can also transfer to the English here. Oh, no, not this one. Maybe click here, JICA 报告书啊, click. And here you can choose English, and here you just search Myanmar. So you can see all the report prepared by the consultant is uploaded to there. So I think you can see that here's the relevant document. Okay, so you just search JICA library, and you can find the past report here. And in any country, or if you want to only search transport planning, you just search transport planning, you can see. Okay.
Wow, that's marvelous. You just opened a window of opportunity for all of us. But very quickly, can you summarize, or what do you see in the future where the gold mine is for our younger generation? What's your recommendation? Which nation or which country, which area has a booming opportunity for us to contribute?
I have no idea to say that, but
well, what about which area is more friendly, or Taiwanese has some advantage to get in? For instance, Thailand may be one of them, but it may not be a very good economic environment. Geographically, maybe Taiwanese can utilize our relationship with Singapore or New Zealand. Well, what's your take on that?
Okay, first of all, I think even we don't have embassy in many countries, but I think we have 外贸协会. I don't know how to say that. I think we can really utilize the connection, I mean the network, the 外贸协会, because they have many office, and this one infrastructure is also economy. So I think even before last year or something, 外贸协会 in Thailand, they are also calling the consultant to do the mobility something. So actually they are also doing something similar, but the scale is quite small. And for Taiwan, it's ICDF. So you know, our diplomatic country is mostly in Pacific Island and also Latin America. So maybe you can join the ICDF volunteer. So you can go there to do the real project first. And if you like, then maybe you can join ICDF. And for the consulting firm, I mean, I'm not sure, but I see maybe Taiwanese consulting firm, they are still by far, they are mostly subcontractor. So if you're subcontractor, it's very hard to have your CV because you are not doing the management, you're only doing the task only. Okay, so actually, I mean, our company, we also have a difficulty to win the project from the international donor. But the easiest way is you can hire international, particularly it can be like Caucasian or something, experienced people. Maybe you can have one person, maybe 50 or 60, and you hire them to join your company, and that person in charge of international procurement. So we also have one person, we hire one person, he's French, and also he's international marketing manager. So he's a key person to prepare like international project. So I mean, the shortest way, the easiest way, maybe to hire someone directly, and that person to do the national procurement. And also that person can bring the network. So I mean, if he is a person, he to contact something in Hong Kong, someone in Australia, it will be easier. If you are international development, normally they won't say, I mean, they don't care where you base. I mean, I just based in Tokyo and that person based in Hong Kong is based in Malaysia, it's fine. And the key is your experience, is your CV. Okay, because the base is just where you live. As long as you live in, I mean, I live in Japan, but all my experience is overseas. Okay, so they don't care where you live, they care what's your experience.
Thank you very much. I believe we have a very fruitful discussion within an hour. Let me encourage everybody. we all have trouble. We think that Taiwanese, we have problem with our English, but definitely that shouldn't be a hurdle, because if you look at the statistics, TOEFL score, actually Japanese has the below average TOEFL score in Asian country. And now we hear that Japan is all over the world now. So let's not be discouraged, because Japanese can do a lot of international business or engineering project in the world, so should we. And also our speaker today, Henry, just gave us another good reason to go abroad, because Henry was educated in Taiwan, he self-studied Japanese, and he's now all over the world. So please, let's grab another applause to our speaker today. We will definitely ask everybody to stay. We will have a further discussion in Chinese. Thank you very much. With that, I would like to conclude the presentation today, and also looking forward to have discussion on the next section. Thank you.